Hi, everybody. Welcome to this testimonial. This is Louise, who was a client of mine on the Thinking into Results program, where I coached Louise through 6 months of her life. And thankfully, Louise here is going to provide a testimonial for all of you to hear how her whole life has been totally transformed throughout these 6 months that we worked together. So, Louise, thank you so much for joining me. I'm absolutely honoured that you said yes to this.
No problem, Gary. It took a wee bit of convincing, like everything else in my life, but yes, I'm delighted to be here, and
Yeah.
just hope that this reaches out to somebody who might be in a similar situation and think about doing the program.
Yes, absolutely. So what we'll do, Louise, we'll go back to what life was like before you came on, before you decided to come on the program. So what was it that you were actually struggling with, or what was a challenge for you in your life before you made the decision to do this?
Well, the reason for coming on was it followed a period of a lot of loss in my life, Carrie. I got to a stage of my life that I had lost a lot of significant people, and I'm reaching a certain age of my life too that I had got to the point that I felt that I was just lost. I was completely lost, and I just sort of thought, there's more to life here. There has to be more. You know, when you're younger, you have all these plans and aspirations and dreams, of what you want to be when you grow up. And so I was very lucky. I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. So I had that education. I went and did my degree. I got that job. I met my husband. I had that home. I had that I wanted children. God bless me, and I had the children, and I had everything that you dream of when you're younger. And I just felt really, really stuck. As I say, just really, really lost. And following, as I say, a recent bereavement, I remember saying to my sister one day, "Is this it? Is this it? What am I dreaming for now? Am I dreaming towards my retirement? So you're sort of thinking to yourself, you get to a stage of life, you've got all this, and you're thinking, right, well, what is it that I am getting up out of work for? And I just felt just stuck in a rut. Carrie was the best way to describe it. Getting to work every day was a challenge. I just felt really, really just, as I say, just that cycle of life, like Groundhog Day. And then another thing happened in my life, and my eldest son was struggling with his own mental health. And I am an advocate of I'll be the first to help everybody else. I was out there seeking things for him, getting him all the best of therapies, all the best of alternative therapies. I had been to counselling myself for grief. I'm a big advocate for helping others, and that's part of my job as well. And as I say, I just sort of got to the stage and I thought, who's helping me? I just don't know what to do. I'm just really, really stuck. And as I say, I do believe in people being in the right place at the right time. You and I knew each other from work. You and I had talked a lot about your the things that you were educating yourself with. And you had told me you were very excited, and I met you a way back before away about 6 months before I actually joined the course. I met you for a chat to say, right, what is it, Carrie, that you're so enthused as? Because I seen a change in you, and I thought, something she's doing is right. And you and I had a chat, and everything that you said, it just resonated with me. You just said, you explained what the program was about, and I'm a very logical learner. I like everything to be step by step by step. So you explained what would happen through the program, and I thought, okay, I could do it. It's something very, very achievable. You explained, questioning yourself for the first time ever, that I am in control of my thoughts and my actions and my behaviours. Um, and it's never too late to change those thoughts and actions and behaviors. Just because I've been programmed, or I believe, or it was habits that had been passed down through my parents or through the society they live in, you know, you had explained to me, well, Louise, no, it's okay to ask for more. It's okay to say, no, that doesn't suit me. Look at the results that you've got now. Are you happy with that? Well, actually, no, I want more. I want better and I want more. And that's not something to be ashamed of, or, um, it's nothing to be ashamed of. So for anybody out there, I am a great procrastinator. Making a decision is was one of my downfalls. And I came away, yes, I was so enthused by you, and it was like, right, great, happy days. And I'll be very honest, the, the, the reason I didn't sign up there and then was I'm a mummy, I'm a wife, and I felt, oh my God, I can't invest that money in myself. Now, had my son needed therapy that cost the same amount as the program, I would have done it without even thinking. In a heartbeat, it would have been signed done that day. But whether it's just as mothers, as females, as whatever, I battled with the whole, accountability of, can I spend this money out of our savings? How my family and whatever are going to support me through this. So, as I say, another loss. And I just thought, right, this is it. No, this is it. I just can't take anymore. I need to take control of my life, because this is all going around me. I read a lovely thing about Napoleon Hill about circumstance, and we can't blame the circumstance that's going around and say, oh, I'm a product of that, I'm a victim of that. But I just felt, no, there has to be some sort of change. And I remember I was in the car with my sister when I asked her, I said, there has to be more. And she said, Louise, what about Carrie? What about that program with Carrie you kept talking about? And I said, I know, and I know I want to do it. And she just said, make that phone call and you will find the money. And I did. And that was the biggest leap of faith, or fear, terror barrier, everything. I just went, right, that's it. And I did it. And I went home and I spoke with my husband and basically said, do you know what? I need to invest time in me. We're very good at going to the gym and investing time in our physical health, or investing time in our spiritual health or whatever, but nobody had ever taught me how to be in charge of my mindset. And I always thought my mindset was something I was born with and that I would die with. And I didn't think that I could ever change it. And I have to say, it has just opened my eyes to whole new possibilities. And it's just a journey. I'm not even saying it's a program, it's a way of life to me. It's a journey. It's a journey. And for the first time in a long time, it excites me. I get up out of bed every morning with a purpose. And I'm just so excited about where this can take me.
Yes. Oh, there's so much to unpack there, Louise. And I actually remember the day you sent me the text message. And I thought, oh my God, I'm so excited, because again, you even texted me as part of my big goal, to bring this to as many people's lives as possible. And I was forever grateful that you done that you made that decision. And like you said, it's this guilt thing that we have, especially as mothers, that we can use the money for other things, and especially for our children, be no problem spending on our children. But I'm so glad that you were able to get over that sort of guilt and say, do you know what, because really your children are going to benefit from this, because first of all, you're changing, you're growing and expanding, and of course you have access to the material that your children will always have access to. So tell us then what life was like when you started getting into the program, even though we're saying the word program, but you're right,
Yeah.
it's not a program, it's a way of life. So what happened when you then made the decision and you had a whole new way of life, and you had to obviously, have a new routine, and you had classes with me. So what was that like, having a whole new routine?
Well, it's something that I wanted. I wanted change, and as I say, I know that people can fear away from change. But I just thought, no. Do you know what? This is it. I'm committed to it. And as I say, I think as well, that financial accountability that you're sort of thinking, right? I'm going to go. It would be the same as if I was taking on a master's degree or some sort of thing. I set aside a time that I thought, this is my study time. Now, I was very, very honest with my family, because our family had gone through so much loss and there was an awful lot of emotional emotional things going on at home. Plus, I have 2 teenagers at home. There's a lot of hormones flying about. I'm a woman of a certain age as well. There was my hormones flying about. So we're very open. And when I took that decision to start the program, I was very honest with my family. And I said, right, listen, you're going to see me coming on a Zoom. Close that door. Don't be coming in for that hour when I'm doing the Zoom. You're going to see me going upstairs to study. Sitting on my bed, there would have been books and worksheets and whatever, and sitting beside my bed even now. There's a wee book. There's a pile of books, and that's my wee journals. That's writing all my goals down every morning. There's wee things stuck on my mirror in my other bedroom. So I thought, I have to be open with my family because they'll think, oh God, what's she doing? She's lost the plot, or she's doing something, some witchcraft that she's talking to herself. So, as I say, I was very keen to say to them, it's okay to change, it's okay to talk, about your emotions. It's okay to want more. It's okay, and I'm the best. We are the best as parents. We're the best to say to our children, you can be anything you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do, but nobody's telling me that, and if I don't tell myself that, nobody is. So as I say, the kids are great. Kids were like, right, whatever, mummy, whatever. My youngest, he is so into this stuff, it's unbelievable. He has, he'll say to me, mummy, what is it you were reading? I've left wee passages in the wee stories. I find the wee stories at the end of the lessons are just a snapshot of the essence of what each lesson is about. And I was leaving them lying around the house, highlighted and things. And more times than enough past, my husband would be reading it, or my youngest would be reading it, and whatever. So as I say, I stuck to my daily routine as much as possible. It was hard, I will be honest. I wasn't a morning person. Still am a wee bit, I can still sort of think during holiday times, right, I could put the hour back, but I still get up and I still I do a wee meditation in the morning just to focus me. I found myself listening to Bob on the way to work. And if I haven't had time to listen to him, I put my earpods in while I'm doing my makeup. So that's the way it fits with my morning, because my morning, let's be honest, I'm a mummy of 2. I have to get them out and I have to go to work myself. So that morning program suited me and still suits me, but I was doing more work in the evening. And as I say, really, really reading the chapters, listening to the audio again, and the audio is fabulous. I love watching Bob, I have to say, but there are times that I just, I'm moving about or whatever, and I just put the audio. And I think it was something you said, or we were talking, he's like the wise, lovely granda that I never had, or the daddy that I don't have now. Just giving me words of wisdom, and I do feel that he's talking to me personally, and he has a lovely voice. I always say that to you, Carrie. When you listen to something over and over and over again, it sometimes grates on you, and you think their voice is doing my head in. He has the most beautiful voice that you could listen to all day long. I don't see it as a chore listening to Bob. In fact, I find myself, if I'm stressed, if I want to scream and shout, I'll put Bob on and pretend that I'm listening to music around the house and nobody will annoy me. So, as I say, the daily studying is so important. The Zooms, the fortnightly Zooms were brilliant. Because you're the person that you are, Carrie. Do you get a bit of crack? You don't take life to, there's a bit of crack, a bit of banter, but you are so passionate and so knowledgeable that it's infectious. I came off all our calls buzzing, absolutely buzzing, just like, oh my God, she's just told me some more and I have to go and do this. And that's thanks to you. Your infectious personality and your passion for this. I just felt that, yeah, and I can see that you're glowing and you're buzzing, and celebrating my wee wins with you. They were so important along the way too. Texting you whenever I got a bit of good news or something that I think you and I talked about, that you have to surrender, you have to let things go, and celebrating those wins with you are just so are so precious, and there'll always be something that'll stick with me forever, that I'll always say, that was thanks to us doing this work. I do believe that some people might say it was a miracle, some people might say other things, but I do believe it was part of this. But as I say, so yes, the accountability, showing up, first and foremost, yes, I've invested this money and this time. The accountability that you would give me, or give us tasks to do, and sitting down. And there's some of the tasks you and I laughed about. They were very uncomfortable. I think again, I even find it uncomfortable to stand in front of the mirror, or this is how my life looks like now that I've achieved this. But the more that you do it, you do get locked into that fantasy. And as I said to you, when you're younger, you have dreams of what you want to do when you grow up. You have dreams, and you can doodle away, or you can flick through magazines. Getting married, oh my God, your imagination went wild. But why do we not have that now? So as I say, yes, I'm really invested in the imagination side of it, and as I say, that's how the program has worked for me. I found it very, very easy to slot into my lifestyle. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. And the 6 months flew by. It absolutely flew by. In fact, you and I come the sort of last few lessons, I was like, can I spread it out a wee bit longer? Because we don't want this to end. So yeah, that the program flew in. But yeah.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, first of all, thank you for saying that. And it just reminded me again of, all them wee moments that you have together, we had together, of celebrating your wins, and also looking
Yeah.
at the things that were challenging to you, and the fact that you trusted me to hold that information, and to also try to help you as best I could. And I love when you said, Bob, he's like that granddad that I never had a granddad. They were both dead before I was born. So he is like that grandfather figure who just always has your best interest at heart. And he really is your best friend that you'll have for the rest of your life, because you have this program for the rest of your life. So it gives you that sort of warm, fuzzy feeling inside when you get access to Bob's work and his wisdom, that you cannot get on YouTube, because obviously it's behind the paywall. But how important for you, Louise, was it that you were coached through this, as opposed to being able to get access to any online program that you self-study? What was the importance of having a coach for you?
Oh, Carrie, you and I had said that I have a library almost full of books in there that we have bought, both of my husband and myself, over the years. I've read The Secret, I read all those books, was inspired by it all, and you're reading these things going, oh my God, that is amazing. And as soon as you put that book down, it was back on the bookshelf and never moved. And it might stay with you for a day or two, and you think, oh, that's nice. But then a week later, had it made any decision? Had it made any difference in my life? Absolutely not. So the coaching element of this is so important, because I wasn't flicking ahead. When you read a book and you might skip to the end, or you might leave out chapters. This is a very step-by-step program, and I mean, it really unpicks things. So you're given background reading to do, but even that in itself, I mean, what I read and what our live webinars were, it just goes deeper, so much deeper than print, and it's talking about, you bringing in your own personal experiences of what something meant, or Bob bringing in an example. I mean, the stories and the examples he uses, and he draws on a wealth of knowledgeable people. And I just love the instances, that even like listening back to lesson 1 today, Carrie, he was saying about the man who went to Everest. People kept saying, are you nuts? So no matter what goal I come up with, it's not nuts. It's not nuts, not compared to somebody who went 3 times in a row before he achieved that, or the brothers who decided to put an aircraft in the air. So he brings in, and you bring in, so many stories and examples to highlight something that you might otherwise, if you were reading in your house thinking, that can't be done, that can't be done, you know. And as I say, giving up at that first hurdle. When you're reading a book, you think, I'll try it. And a week later, it hasn't worked for me. So I'm thinking, oh, no, that wasn't for me. Whereas, you know, unpicking, you know, the paradigms was an eye-opener for me. You know, every lesson, I have to say, you know, was thinking about this and thought, if Carrie asks me what was the most important lesson, every single one of them, and I can see why they're done sequentially, because you really need to get to grips with what it is that you want to achieve, and everything else, you know, it's a step-by-step guide. You know, the paradigms and, you know, the knowing doing gap, and writing down the non-productive, you know, the NPAs and things like that, and really taking a good hard look at me, that if I want my results to change, I have to change my behavior. And I know it's very easy for us to say, it's everybody else's fault, it's not mine. No, oh, my sons have hormones, it's their fault, it's not mine. But I can't change their behavior. I can't, you know, I have to sort of, but I can change mine. You know, I can choose what to accept or reject now. And I'm very mindful of using my higher faculties of, am I really going to ponder on that? Or can I see it from their point of view? Or, as I say, I've learned so many tools for different situations. And that would never come from a book. And as I say, because every 2 weeks we were meeting and I was able to discuss with you, you know, everyday life and how I can use this program. You know, as I give you examples of, you know, a situation at home that I wanted to change. And, you know, I thought it was, at the time, I thought I was going off track of my greater goal, but it actually wasn't, because my greater goal, and I don't mind sharing it, was I needed inner peace. I needed to find out who I really am and what I'm all about. And just, instead of being chaotic and doing this quick fix or this quick fix to try and make me feel better, I really needed to get to the root of it. And ultimately, my life at home, you know, is part of that inner peace. If I'm having a peaceful home, I'm not going to have an inner peace, you know. So when I felt I was going off track, you were able to say, no, actually, no, Louise, this is all paving the way to achieving ultimately what do you want to go for. So, as I say, yes, the accountability of having a mentor is priceless, absolutely priceless. You will not get that with any self audio or reading books, or even an online class, even where you don't have that interaction. Social interaction it's a big part of the human race, you know, meeting people in person, talking live. You can't mimic that. So, as I say, that it's a huge part to how successful this program is.
Yeah, and that's it's just what I want to highlight to people, is because people can say, well, try get videos on YouTube, and there's a lot of things that we can't get for free, which is great, and we can you know, build up our knowledge that way for free. But it's because of human behavior. We tend not to show up for ourselves, because, like you said, the paradigm is so strong, and until we change our behavior, nothing's really going to, you know, change in our lives, you know. So glad that you pointed that out. And even like you said, I love what you said there, that you had to go deep within to find, you know, what your paradigm was. And it's just such an exciting journey, isn't it? Isn't it such an exciting journey, finding out who you are in the very depths of yourself? Like, it's the most interesting, fascinating, exciting journey I think anyone can go on, is to find out who they really are.
Because I don't think we've ever asked ourselves that, Carrie, or taken the time to actually listen for that answer. Or, you know, as to say, you just go through life and you just accept things for what they are without questioning. And I think that is just part of our programming, you know, just get on with it, be happy with what you've got. You know, you've got the job, you've got the house, just that's it. And then I thought, oh, well, actually, no, I'm a wee bit fed up. I'm a wee bit stuck. That's not it. That's not it, you know. And it's okay to ask that. And as I say, we've never been taught this. This is the thing. You and I are so passionate about, teaching others and whatever. That's the sad thing. We aren't taught that. We're just told to accept it. And we're not taught it is okay to change your behaviors. You can change. That's the thing. You can change your behaviors, no matter how stuck you think you are. You can change your behaviors. You can change your thinking, which I didn't think would be as easy as it has been. And therefore, my behaviors, my thinking, and my actions are changing my results.
Oh, so that on that note, so you told us at the start, before you decided this, you had a lot of loss in your life and a lot of what we call emotional impacts, which are really traumatic events we have all experienced from time to time. So you were feeling stuck. Then you came on to the program. So what's life look like now? What's the outcome of all of this for you?
Although my family knew that I had signed up to this, and I was off work for quite a few months due to personal things, I hadn't really told very many people that I was actually doing this program while I was coincidentally while I was off. And the biggest compliment I got was when I went back to work. People said, "Oh my God, you look so different." And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Have you lost weight?" And I was like, "No," and I know I hadn't. "Oh, you've had something done. Oh, you look different." And for the first time in my life, I believed that yes, I was glowing. I was glowing with a passion of being alive, absolutely embracing every day. Now people can say, "Oh, it's because of the loss that I've been thinking," and it's not. It's because I'm thinking, right, I'm in charge of my life now. Nobody's going to dictate my life, and if I don't take control, nobody will. And I went back with a completely different mindset in terms of what's important and what's not. And, accept or reject. Getting drawn into small dramas and things like that. I don't have time for that, because ultimately, is that sort of adding anything to my is it adding value to me? My achieving my goal, is it adding value to who I am? Or stepping back and just saying, "No, I'm not gonna partake." I've done that. As I say, people might find that uncomfortable. I've had to step away from relationships that aren't productive, that are actually quite toxic. And what was the impact on that? That was affecting me, and it was then therefore affecting my family. So, as I say, stripping all that back, how does life look for me now? As I say, I've had people say to me, like, honestly, there has been a physical shift. My husband has benefited from it, and as have my children, and I won't say it is a completely calm house with 2 teenagers and a husband and, family life. I mean, hello, let's be realistic. There's going to be the odd outburst. But we've all got to an understanding that I choose. And so when I'm a better version of myself, it's like the ripple effect. I think you and I said that about, they can see the change in me. So therefore they are benefiting from that, but they're also learning from me. Well, what is it she's doing different? Oh, she's not reacting the way that she used to be. She's not responding. Sending out the positivity and the messages, the gratitude. The gratitude now is just that's a way of life for me. But it's actually now a way of life for my family. I'll always say at the dinner table, well, what happened today that we're thankful for? And that's not happy clappy. It's not. It's just basically, let's ground ourselves in what have we to be grateful for. But the biggest great game changer was a couple of weeks ago, and I had said to you, my husband is the biggest skeptic ever, and we were out for a date night the other week, and he just said to me, "See that program?" He said, honestly, that has been the best thing you've ever done.
Well, I feel really flattered because I know what Gavin's like.
You know what he's like, Carrie. And I said, really?
The biggest accolade.
Throughout the program, he didn't really say much about it. You know, I would say, oh my God, you should read that chapter, or you should read that. Oh my God, that's right, Gavin, you'd love that. But I wasn't forcing it down his throat. And as I say, he said to me, no, he said, I've definitely, he says, like, I mean, there has been a complete shift in your mindset. He said, do you know what? And as I say, I told you this, and this is what he said, I might start up. And I was like, what? And he was like, so he said, how does it work and whatever, because it just shows you he really wasn't paying attention to all the details I was telling him. So again, he couldn't believe that I have access to this for life, you know, forever. And I had said, actually, I had started it myself a few weeks ago. And again, going back to that accountability, Carrie, you know, I'm currently in the process of revisiting this stuff with you, actually, you know, in a paid forum, because I was losing track. I wasn't. I'm one of these people that, you know, I need almost spoon fed. I need that mentor. I need that guide. So again, that's why I've signed up to doing this again, because yes, I continue with my daily routine, but I just found having a like-minded person to talk to is so important, because some people don't get this. Some people think, oh, what you talking about? Oh, you know, oh, she's seen wee furries up there or whatever, you know. Whereas having a like-minded community, yourself and the other people, you know, that we come across, is so important to keeping the momentum and sharing the success, sharing the challenges, overcoming the challenges, and just, you know, being part of a community, a like-minded community, is so important. So as I say, he's actually now said that he's going to look into the material. I went and printed out him, and I would like this as something that, as he embarks on this is something that him and I can talk about. You know, oh, what did you think of that? And what did you think of that? Because do you know what the funny thing is? You see a lot of this teaching from Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, from all the other great people. It's in all of these new modern day mindset programs. You know, Gavin bought one the other week, and it was your man Anton Middleton from the SAS, who dares wins or something. It's from the TV, and when I read just a snippet of his book, you know, an awful lot of these teachings, somebody has told him that. So you're thinking to yourself, well, why did nobody tell me that when I was growing up? And so, do you know, I'm just delighted, Carrie, at how it has all panned out. I'm excited. I'm excited to start this again. I'm currently in the process of writing down all my needs and all my wants, all my desires and wants, and then narrow that down. I'm really embracing it this time. As I say, for anybody who's thinking of doing this, 100%. You know, the first time you do anything, you know, you're going through it very cautiously and watching, and you know, I'm doing this right, and always, you know, I didn't realize how much my self-belief, my self-confidence needs. You know, I need to really master this, you know, and nobody's going to do it except me, you know, and I can and I will. But you know, oh, I've gone off track there. Yes, so I'm back, starting it all over again. And as I say, I am just so excited. As I say, you know, I was really, really stuck in a rut. You seen that? You seen where I was, Carrie? And I thought, this is it. You know, am I just gonna wait until retirement age comes? But no,
Hoping
so
to make it
excited.
safely to your deathbed, as most people, like Bob Proctor would say, most people
Yeah.
are hoping to make it safely to their deathbed.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and I even reading, what was it I read today? And I just thought, you know, when people are, oh, that's what it is. When people are working for something towards, you know, like a goal, they're alive. And if they're just working, they don't have any fun. And that is where I was. I was working, but I wasn't having fun. Whereas now, and honestly, you know, this isn't put on, this is genuinely me. I am so excited about what I can achieve knowing this information and practicing this information. And it's repetition, repetition, repetition for it to be heard in my mind. And that's in a very ladybird version of thinking into results.
Oh, I love it. And do you know, you can just see the glow in your face. And I know you're excited. You're not putting that on. You could just see in your face. You're so excited. And I'm delighted Gavin is coming on board with you, because I always say couples who study together stay together.
Let's see.
We'll start a mastermind group, me, Kieran, you and Gavin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, listen, thank you so much, Louise, for coming on and sharing that testimonial. It was so powerful. Was the investment worth it?
150%. Honestly.
There we go.
You couldn't buy the change. You know, you physically couldn't, couldn't bottle it, and you couldn't package it and sell it the way that my view on life, my mindset is. You couldn't put a price on it.
It really is such a priceless thing to have, the program. And obviously it is an investment, and it does scare a lot of people to think, oh God, no, I could use that for other things. But it turns out that we ended up spending it on other things anyway that still doesn't change our lives.
No,
And
you and I said that, I mean, people are going to the gyms and PTs and they're firing this money and, for a quick fix solution. And then, unless your mindset tells you that, your body is the size that it is and you're living in that body, you'll go back, you put that weight back on, again, when you don't have that accountability, while you're going to the gym, of course, you're going to keep it off because you have to weigh in and you have to do that. But if you don't pay your gym membership, chances are you'll put it back on. So, and again, that's only one element of your life. Your physical health is only one tiny element. When you get your mindset right, all of those things fall into place. Your physical health, your mental health, everything. To me, that it all just fits into place. And why wouldn't we invest that? We would invest it in our children. We would invest it for our husbands or our partners. We would invest it in a car, a holiday. Is that going to change your way of thinking? And as I said to you, it's a way of life to me. It is not a program. It's a way of life, and yeah, it's priceless.
Oh, well, what a perfect way to end it. It is. So listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and your family, Louise. And yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's all down to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.